I think it's recording now, and it's moving.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is the Go Fund Us video cast. If you're a first-time listener, thank you so much. This is a comedy podcast. We just talk over our adventures in nature, our GoPro footage. My name is Miles.
I'm Blaze.
And, we're comedians in San Diego. We do a lot of video stuff. Please, 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 if you like what we're saying, like, share, subscribe, check out our movies. We put a lot of work into them. We want to keep being able to do that. So, yeah, just thank you so much, and just please support us. It's all free.
Support these two lizards.
Support
everything
these two
they've
lizards.
done for the
Shout
community.
out. Yeah, these are the good ones right here.
These are Western fence lizards.
Western fence lizards, and I got a real nice shot. I was alone, so I was able to concentrate a little bit more. If this is your first time...
That's a passive-aggressive jab by Miles. If that went over anyone's heads, I just wanted it to be clear.
So, Blaze and I spend probably about 20 hours a week together minimum, plus all the texting and stuff like that. So, we do have a little bit of a contentious relationship. Don't be alarmed, viewers at home. I won't hurt Blaze too bad. But, we do just kind of have fun. We pal around a little bit. Blaze is kind of an annoying guy, and there's not a lot of people that can tolerate him. Fortunately, I'm able to, because I'm just a very tolerant person. Sorry, was that passive-aggressive enough for you? Was that passive enough?
These kind of jabs just don't really bother me because I've turned a corner, and I do have some flaws, and
some flaws.
I'm working.
That's the way you would describe yourself. Some flaws. I was talking right before the podcast because normally what Blaze does is he'll try to amp me up. He'll try to say a bunch of shit. He'll talk a bunch of shit to me basically, and then when we start recording, he'll turn it around and he'll act like, oh, I'm just an innocent guy. I don't do anything. But this time, I actually amped him up. So he's in a bad little mood. He's sitting over here in the corner. And we'll just have a good time, guys. Me and you, the listener. Go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment if you're on my side and if you're liking what I'm saying.
Hey, this is regular guy Blaze, and I'm just, hey, shout out there to the
Nobody knows
man.
what regular guy Blaze is.
Well, because I'm just a regular guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, sorry, guys. Blaze is so ridiculous every day that today he comes into my house and he says, oh, I'm a regular guy today. Like, he has to tell you that he's going to be civilized. And so far, regular guy Blaze has told me that even though I was diagnosed by a doctor with PTSD, he says, oh, you don't have PTSD. And then, you know what he does, guys? He goes up to my wife and he starts tattletaling on me, saying I'm not taking out the trash, saying I'm not taking the dog to the bathroom. Is that what a regular guy would do?
Well, let me go through that one by one. I apologize.
There's two things.
I apologized already for saying that PTSD wasn't real.
There's my shadow with the GoPro. There's a big shadow following me.
And I really regret it. I'm sorry that I didn't know that it would bother you so much.
It didn't bother me.
It clearly got to you, and it clearly upset you.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all, dude. It didn't bother me.
It clearly upset you, and I'm sorry.
It didn't bother me. We did a whole episode.
Now, the other things, I was just trying to help. Like, hey, bro, you haven't taken out your trash.
Did you say, hey, bro? No, you go to my wife and you say, well, hey, Mrs. Haddad, Miles didn't take out the trash today.
I thought it was like a Middle Eastern cultural thing. I thought that would be the most proper way to address it. Mrs. Haddad.
And he's racist, obviously. He just dropped a little racial...
And I was also fighting for the rights of your dog to go out to urinate.
She can pee and poop anywhere she wants to. That's what I have a wife for. She can clean that stuff up. I don't make.
I can see that you're not a regular guy.
Yeah, I'm better than a regular guy. I'm a Sigma male. Do you know what that is? A Sigma male?
No.
It's a new thing. I learned about it today online. It's like I'm probably like a year late. Everybody's gonna give me shit for this, but basically it's like an alpha male, but they like to be on their own, and they're like kind of like a lone wolf. And they don't care about material stuff. They don't need to dominate men. They're just. Hey, look. Hey, buddy. If you step on my toes, I'll shoot your fucking feet off.
It's a libertarian.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of like a libertarian, yeah. But that's basically that's kind of what I am, I've realized. So, yeah. I'm going to get some pretty cool tattoos.
Yeah, I think I'm like an anarcho-syndicalist.
I was thinking of when you said that, I was thinking that was like a McFlurry or something, like a frosted drink. You're like, I'll have the anarcho-syndicalist. Just a bunch of chocolate and shit. This is actually a very nice. I'm actually, my blood pressure is kind of lowering as I'm looking at this stuff, which is nice. We actually had a nice day. This is one of the few bright spots in our relationship. Was walking, and this hike was very nice. Very nice time of year. late spring. It's not crazy hot out. We were just enjoying talking.
We both got ticks, bad ticks, just full of ticks.
But that's okay. I mean, they were attracted to something, and it was friendship for once. Get off your phone.
I'm just a regular guy. Got a text message from my partner. Want to make sure everything was okay.
Do you want to pause? Talk to Rachel. Read it out loud. Read what Rachel has to say out loud.
Okay, do you want me to?
No, I probably don't, actually. I don't want to know it.
Oh, it's so big.
Okay, she never said that, guys. Don't listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That was my fault. I left
She said it's huge. It's 600 pages of content at least to cipher through.
Oh.
She's talking about her finals. She's doing
finals.
Okay,
all right. So I was a little bit off. I thought that was going to be more of a sexual thing, which I didn't want to bring into the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, normally, guys, if you're just listening, if you've been listening, thank you for staying with us. But you can also kind of see what's going on here, where Blaze is a little bit of a mischievous one, and I'm kind
not.
of the strong, silent type, is what they would classify me as.
You're full of shit type, and you're trying to make me look bad on your little podcast that you do.
It's our podcast. I've said it from.
I'm a regular guy now. I don't, I just showed up as a favor to you.
Okay, well, what were you doing for the rest of the day earlier? What were we doing for earlier, regular guy?
We were filming a short, and I was being very polite during it and doing what you wanted. Yeah,
very helpful. I like the regular guy thing where you're actually very nice. That did make me feel a little bit better. That regular guy Blaze was much more helpful than normal Blaze, who constantly contradicts, constantly is oppositional. It was that part was nice, and I'll give you that credit.
I've really turned a corner and becoming actually like really a sweet boy, even though I'm still a regular guy. Like, I used to say I was a sweet boy, now I'm actually being a sweet boy. And really,
because yesterday you were being what you call a sweet boy, and I almost kicked you in the fucking teeth, dude. You have no idea. I was looking at you at the couch, and I was in my head, I was doing the math. I measured my foot. I know exactly how long I could kick, and I was like, if he keeps talking shit, I'm going to kick him right square in the teeth.
Gosh, it would have been so sad if you tried something like that. What would have happened to you? It would have
been sad for you, yeah. It would have been really
I would have been, like, after what I did, I would be like, oh my God, what have I done to Miles? I would have had to confess. I would have had to call 911. I'd be like, sorry, Hannah, Miles.
Hello, Miles. I just got my ass kicked. I just got my ass kicked by a real man, by a Sigma male.
No.
That's what you'd be saying. You'd be crying to them on the phone.
He tried to kick me. That's why he doesn't have the spine anymore. He tried to kick me.
You'd rip my spine out. I love your levels of violence where it's like, oh, I'd push him, and then you're like, well, I'd rip your spine out from your asshole. How would you like that? It's like, how would you even do that?
I don't know.
It's like the Predator strength.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The Predator can do it. We can do it.
Regular guys can do it too.
Well, in Mortal Kombat too, they do it sometimes as a fatality.
It's very funny because that was like truly when nerds were nerds, and you know that they were designing those video games thinking about so many people in their lives, and like, I wish I could just rip his fucking spine out, dude.
Rip his heart out, tear his head off, all that stuff.
How would you, if you had like that level of like superpower, like Superman or something like that level?
Yeah.
Would you fuck people up all the time, or would you be a good guy?
I mean, they could still, like, send the army after you.
Superman, no, dude. You could kill the whole army. That's the thing about Superman is, like, and why he's considered a good superhero is because he doesn't kill the army, but he could easily.
Yeah, I guess I'd fuck people up then.
Some guy just fucking trying to get community college time, and then Superman just rips you in half.
No, I don't know. I'd like to think that I wouldn't. I'd like to think that I would use my powers for good.
I mean, I would try to, but, I've got a dark soul. I can't promise anything. I'll put it that way. I've been talking that way since, like, probably 14. I thought that women liked it, and I'll add that on to stuff, and they really haven't responded well. I mean, I'm married, but I think that's just kind of incidental. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a dark soul, too. But let's get to the topics.
Well, topic one that we were talking about was the shittiest jobs we've ever had. We've had a lot of shitty jobs. And we were thinking about getting political. We don't want to get too political, but hey, if you're a working class person, would you just snort for?
It's a regular guy snort, just to watch. Like, it's funny to watch someone who's clearly a part of the elite.
I'm part of the elite. I'm part of the elite. I'm as blue collar as it gets.
You make like $4 more an hour than me.
That's the elite to you?
Yeah, and you're trying to, like, I'm a regular working man like yourself, you know.
Well, you get less because you work at the Salvation Army and you're disabled. You're mentally disabled. They can't pay you more. I think it's wrong. I honestly, listen, guys, if you're out there and you can vote, get retards like Blaze. Get him more money because he's mentally handicapped and they use his labor, but he doesn't get paid a lot because they think he's retarded. I'm trying to fight for you, buddy.
I work at an Amazon warehouse, the most powerful company in the world.
Yeah, and they got your back for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a regular working man in a warehouse.
Jeff Bezos is like, oh, Blaze is having a bad day. I better call him. Let him know how valued he is.
Would be nice.
It'd be funny if Jeff Bezos would visit your Amazon stores on a tank.
There's so many. Like if the CEO ever tried to like visit, like it'd be like a 4-year process.
A tour, yeah, it'd be like a tour, yeah, like Trump
insane.
did. Yeah. Well, when I worked at Trader Joe's briefly, they were like, I think the CEO's name is Dan Bain, and there's like people there that. The greatest thing about Trader Joe's marketing is it's really marketed towards the employees. You know what I mean? So the employees sell the products. That's kind of the deal. But everybody was like, oh my God, Dan Bain is coming into the store. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Fuck this dude. Who fucking cares? You think he honestly gives a shit about you? You think he's like, oh yeah, let me check out on all my employees. No, he's a ruthless corporate guy. He's having sex with children on a fucking plane.
Hell
you know what I mean? They're all doing that shit. Bezos.
They would have high, but I think that
small business guy.
I think there's even less people in Amazon. I think there's like 4 people that make money at Amazon, something like that. So we did have some.
That's really funny.
They did have like higher levels.
Everybody else, there's like literally that like millions of people working for Amazon around the world, and they're like, one day, man, I'll be one of those 4 for sure, dude. If I just keep grinding, I'll be up there. I'll be a millionaire.
Well. And then you distinguish people by levels. So it's like if you're a PA, a process assistant, I think you're like an L3. If you're a manager, you're an L4. Like and then higher, it's like, oh, that guy's an L9, and L9's coming by.
I imagine it's like kind of like the Death Star in Star Wars when they're just like, L4, what are you doing in this sector? And then you're like, yeah, you have to respond to
But then here's so L9 seems pretty high, but it only goes up to 12. I think that's like right now Andrew Jassy. Yeah.
That's very like, culty. Yeah, that is very culty. That's exactly
12, yeah.
what Scientology and shit do. They keep Scientology keeps adding levels. So you keep paying and they're like, "Oh, well you're enlightened, but guess what? There's 2 more levels now, you have to buy them."
But in this, it's just like sacrificing your time and effort to like make things slightly more efficient and getting more out of people. Because it seems like it's all pretty figured out with how they like the fulfillment center is to the delivery station.
All those jobs are figured out in the sense that the people at the very top are going to make the most amount of money, and then they're going to dick everybody else around and pretend like they can make money too, so they don't fucking revolt. That's the way it's figured out. So it's like their tactics will change, but at the end of the day, all these companies, all they're fucking doing is just doing everything they can to get you to not go crazy or get more people to walk in the door and do all this stuff for being underpaid, basically.
Still though, Amazon, not the worst job I've ever had.
No, actually, before I said, I just wanted to tell you, I had a bit that I was thinking of about like all these powerful people on Epstein's plane, and they have like a small business guy on there. He just has like they're just like, yeah, you can come on. Like they're trying to be nice and inclusive, and so they bring one small business guy into Epstein's plane. Not worth it. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Well, does he? I mean, he'll go through with what happens.
Well, he'd have hijinks. Imagine a small shop owner from Wisconsin. He's like, I want in with these elites, and then they take him, and they're just like...
He just goes through it. He's just like, yeah, this is normal. He just hops on.
No, I don't think he would be normal. I think he would be horrified, but he would be like, I guess if this is what the cool kids are doing, type vibe, is what I would think.
This is what mom and pop does to kids. That's what they would tell him.
Yeah, at what level? I mean, that's when you know you make money, when you start thinking about...
What can I buy?
Yeah. Yeah, when you start looking at like on the... like. They give you access to an internet where you can buy people, then you're like, all right, I'm doing all right now. Nobody talks about that part of grinding.
So you don't have a trafficking business, then you're not rich.
That's the thing. It's like they never bring that up in all those like hashtag grinding and hustling memes. They're never like, they always do like make your bank account your phone number, but they never say anything about like, make the kids in your home prisoners or anything like that, which would be the way that's a real status symbol. Oh, but sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. We were talking about shittiest jobs ever. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I think we're working at a grocery store is the shittiest.
Vaughn's?
Yeah.
I worked at Vaughn's too. What did you hate about it?
No, I mean, it's like, it feels, with how like society is structured, grocery store shopping is just really stressful on its own. So when people go in there, like everyone you're dealing with is pretty stressed. Yeah, because it's like at the end of the workday.
Yeah.
Because at the end of your workday is bad, but also if it's your weekend and you have to go to the grocery store, it's bad.
Yeah.
And then,
especially Vaughn's too, it's like a high traffic too. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, and then the other, like, I just don't like that kind of like dealing with that. But then the other thing is like grocery stores where crazy people just hang out to go mess with you.
That's the other thing is when I worked at Vaughn's in high school, they told us to get a broom, and then they would be like, at the end of the night, someone has to get the broom, and they have to clean out the homeless people, like push them with the broom.
What?
They were sleeping in the bathroom.
Oh, you had to physically do it.
Yeah, and I was
what were you? You're like 16?
Yeah, 15 actually. Yeah,
you get like. That's pretty dangerous.
I didn't do it, but that's what they said people were doing. Yeah, but it's like each store is kind of its own thing. I mean, they have like, you know what I mean. It's like you're saying with all these big corporations. There's so many stores. It's like there are little characteristics to each store that are kind of different because it's like there's such a like weird structure too.
Oh, and then another thing is sometimes your breaks would be stressful because every now and then they have loss prevention people, and if they catch someone stealing, they have them go and sit in the break room. So then you go in there.
Hey, don't mind Blaze. He's on his 10. He'll be out of here real soon. And they're like, you piece of shit. You fucking stole. Yeah, that's really in your break room.
Yeah, you'll go in the break room, and then there's just like a guy who just got caught stealing sitting there.
I would never go in the break room. I'd always go out front.
Yeah, and then
my friend.
One time there was a loss prevention guy because there was two of them that got this guy. One of them was like respectful, but then the other guy was like having a lot of, I guess, bravado and like talking shit to the dude that they caught, kind of.
You're just eating your sandwich.
And it was like this little, like, mild-mannered sort of older, like, Asian guy, and it was just like this big dude just like talking shit to him. It felt very weird.
And he's like, yeah, okay. It's like, that's like, I never understood it because they had that, but I would always go, they had him, they said they put him in the back, but I never checked because I was like, look, I'm 16, I don't give a fuck. I remember being like, this is a high school job, I don't care about this, but what is the legality there?
I don't know. It's weird.
That's what I mean. It's like they just incarcerate them in their own fucking. Because I would talk shit too, dude. If somebody at Vaughn's, if a security guard came up to me and
no. The people that they caught weren't talking shit. I remember one time the dude that caught him was talking shit to the dude who was stealing.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, for no reason. Just like being a badass about it.
Yeah, take that, criminal. He's like a cop one.
And like sort of lecturing him on like his choices and shit, and it's just like,
oh, he's an older Asian guy.
The guy that got caught, yeah.
Oh dang, dude.
But the dude that was talking is like just
hashtag that comment. Stop Asian hate. Yeah. That's not cool, dude.
This was like 6 years ago. It was different.
Well, you didn't think Asian hate was going on then? Of course it was. They just didn't talk about it. But now we can all talk about it freely. Whoa, so he was just some fucking those security guards that are like. Classic
but they're not exactly security guards. They're specifically loss prevention. So it's like the grocery store like once or twice a month would get some of those guys in that will just push around carts all day and look at people. You remember that? You didn't get that at Trader Joe's?
Well, I worked at Vaughn's and Trader Joe's. No, Trader Joe's is like they're real hippy dippy with that shit. They're just corporate pieces of shit too, but they make it seem like they're like, oh hey man. Hey, he's just trying to live, buddy. But it's like, well, it's because they're buying all this stuff wholesale and they're putting their own Trader Joe's label on it. The stuff has no value. You know what I mean? It's all marketing. They figured that out. So it's like their products are cheap. The stuff that you buy at Vaughn's probably has more value. You know what I mean? And Vaughn's is a big store, too. You could steal, like... Because I remember that was the thing. It was like people would steal all the time. But they told us not to mess with them, I thought that was like you're not supposed to get involved, so I didn't really pay attention.
The employees aren't, but like the loss prevention people are specifically for that, because they're not there at the store all the time. They're people like I said, once or twice a month they'll push around carts and they'll catch people.
they catch people that are smaller and weaker than them and don't pose a threat, and they fucking put them in the back and they talk shit to them. They're like, yeah, dude.
I've only seen one guy talk shit. Most of them are pretty like professional about it, but I just saw one guy just doing that. It was weird to watch.
Dude, fuck that job. That would be a shitty job, being specifically loss prevention.
No, it's just me just ruining my break by putting the thieves in the break room.
Did you ever talk to any of them? Did you ever give them a cigarette?
No.
It's all right. It's all right, bro.
Just go sit by him and have lunch.
No, in my break rooms, well, at Trader Joe's, I'd go in the break room sometime, but then you have to, like, talk to people. That's what I hate about grocery stores is, like, it's super transient, so, like, it seems kind of stupid to have conversations with people a lot of times because it's, like, the people that are there for a long time, it's super cliquey, and, like, they party together and they hook up together or whatever. And the people that are just there for a little bit, it's, like, they're either weirdos or they're there for such a short time, it's, like, why would I even bother talking to you? It just takes a lot of energy, you know what I mean? So I would always go...
I didn't really people like to talk to you more. I didn't really have that issue though. Like, but the people that talked to me, the people that talked to me were people that I was okay talking with in the break room. I don't know, but most of the time I didn't. I don't know. Like at lunch, I'd go to my car or something, but I don't know.
The cool people, but I'm saying, okay, I guess I work different shifts though, because the cool people in grocery stores are the people that work like a night shift or a morning shift because they have their shit already set up. I'm saying the middle of the day is like just transients who are like, I don't want to talk to these people. They're either real cliquey or it's like, you know what I mean? The people in the morning are chill. I would talk to those people because they were like, this is their career and they're just not bothering you. They're just like, they're regular people.
And then the other thing so there was that dealing with crazy people, all the stressfulness of like long lines and stuff at grocery stores and how it gets like sometimes the power would go out and you have to like figure out how to deal with that, like because they always want to sell stuff no matter what is happening, you know. But also grocery store work is just physically sort of hard. It's way harder than you would think.
Oh yeah, because you're bending down all the time.
Yeah, it's like but you have to do a lot of stuff that's like physically not that hard, but it's like no way for you to do it properly.
No, and it's just repetitive because you're doing that not proper thing over and over again. I know exactly what you mean.
Just everything is like an awkward position, especially working in the deli, like working in a deep sink and stuff like that, and then like it's just a lot of repetitive like bending, I guess.
I remember I worked with this one guy. He was like, this customer came in and he had like a wife that was really pregnant, and then my coworker's like, the guy was saying something to him and he's like you won't have to explain to that baby how badly I beat the shit out of you. He's like, your baby's gonna come out and look at your face and be like, what happened? He was saying that. He got so mad at this guy. It was one of the funniest things. I was like 16. He was a grown man. He was like working in the deli or something, and he just got upset at this guy.
Was he just being rude at the deli?
The guy was being rude at the deli with his wife that's pregnant, and he was like, you gonna explain to this baby how badly I'm gonna beat you up? And he's like, that baby's gonna... It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. It was like one of the funniest things. I remember like that was the cool thing about your first job is like you meet people that just don't give a fuck. You know, they're just like they live that like a very funny lifestyle, because he was just like, man, fuck you.
all the people I work with now just do cringy stuff like, hey, if you see like a hot girl come in, say, hey, there's someone notable there. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude? Oh, that's the lame. Oh my god, I hate that, dude.
Just like some old guy that is just like why?
There's a notable woman here, and then you walk up and you're like, hey, do you like guys who make $15 an hour? Well, how is that supposed to work?
The only people that come in that are like transient in that way, like a customer or something, are flex drivers. So he's just talking about like people that are at work coming to pick up
someone that
bags.
Sort of loosely works for Amazon. So they come in and you're just like, hey, do you also make no money?
Do you need help loading?
Oh god, dude. There was a guy that I worked with at Trader Joe's who was like 31, and he was like, he would always hit on underage women. There's a couple guys, another person I know who works at Trader Joe's, but like there was a couple guys I was like, what the... It's so fucking creepy, dude. They would hit on girls that were like in high school or like young college.
Like with their moms and dads?
Yeah. So do you hang out with your parents all the time, or do you do cool stuff? Well, no, there was a girl we worked with who was like 17, I think. She was in high school. And this guy was like talking to her, and I pulled her aside one day. And I'm not even trying to... I'm not a hero, you know, but I was like, hey, you should like... I'm just telling you, this guy's being a little inappropriate with you, and you should. It's not really cool what he's doing. I was like, it's your life, but I'm just saying, because I was honestly like, this is a creepy guy. Like, he's being really weird to her.
How old were you? Like 15?
No, this is when I worked at Trader Joe's, so I was older.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the jobs I got after the ambulance, but like after the ambulance, I had such a like low tolerance for people that I felt were like just shitty. I would like have to be involved in you know what I mean? That's like a personality flaw that I've worked through, but there was a time.
Yeah, you gotta let people get harassed.
You gotta just let it happen. Now I'm just like, hey man, sorry. Everybody gets God at some point, dude.
Yep.
So that was the shittiest. Yeah, Vons is pretty shitty, but it's like customer service in grocery is really bad. I think because you're right. People are always upset, and you're always dealing with like the stupidest people who are telling their dumb jokes when you're just trying to like check out their. Did you ever work register?
No, because I went to a department. So it's either you go to register,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Register.
It's either you go to register or you go to a department.
See, yeah, I don't know, but it's like, I don't know about Vons, but at Trader Joe's they expect you to like serve with a smile. And
well, that's the hardest part about it, is like you can't be authentic. And back then when I worked at Vons, they were more strict about facial hair and stuff too. I see people with beards now, but like then it's like you gotta have a mustache or nothing. So I just grow some shit mustache just because it was within the rules.
Yeah, no, I remember that same shit. Well, yeah, I don't know. I probably told you the story before, but like one time at Trader Joe's, I was working cashier, and it's like, man, I just want to fucking do my job. And this guy's like, okay, I'm buying these and I'm stealing these, and then I just like gave him a blank stare, and he's like,
I'm joking.
That was a joke, and I was like, I know, and he's like, long day, and I'm like, not at all. And then he fucking, dude, I swear to God, he was like, okay, and he got all upset. I gave him the thing. He's like, yeah, thank you, and he grabs my thing, and I can see where they have the managers at Trader Joe's. He fucking walks over the managers. I see him point at me. And then I got talked to for being rude to customers. It's like, it's not my job to be your source of entertainment, dude. Get a life. You know what I mean? It's like, if I work in customer service, it is not my job to be your friend, okay? Don't come into Trader Joe's trying to riff.
Yeah, people. If you don't laugh at people's jokes, they get mad at you.
Because it's embarrassing and they don't know how to deal with the embarrassment of like, oh, maybe I'm not the funniest guy ever. Every other Trader Joe's employee has laughed at these stupid jokes. It's like, not me, dude.
And then, yeah, I guess people aren't good at dealing with bombing. I'm pretty. No. I can.
If you do comedy, if you do comedy, you bomb. And it's just like what I've already bombed in this conversation or this. I mean, with a joke I told, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you guys are fucking stupid, and I'm smart. That's what you get after doing comedy. You just learn. No, I mean, like you get when you bomb, you're just kind of like whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like it's socially, it's like whatever. I don't even think about it. Vons is very shitty. I was gonna say my shittiest job was what I did. So the ambulance job, working on the ambulance, fire academy, I would rate that as the most fun job I've had, all things being considered. Like, yeah, sure, there's some downsides probably, but I didn't get out for like a reason for not liking that job. That job and my coworkers, for the most part, were fucking cool. That was like my favorite coworkers and favorite people I worked with for sure. Was in those two jobs, blue collar job. My least favorite job was the job I just came from, which is construction, for sure. I've told you a lot of shit about it, but I just feel like it's not the work itself. It's the fact that everybody there thinks they're a badass, which is very annoying. There's constant like gossiping and drama, I would say. And the work is so inconsistent. It's like stressful because you're dealing with people that potentially can just rat you out to the boss and then you lose out on work down the road. It's like so much more political than you would think it would be because the work isn't consistent and you don't really know where you're going from like day to day, which they sell to you as a positive where they're like, oh, hey, you can be working anywhere. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess the idea of that's okay, like moving around, but it's like so erratic and so inconsistent. It's like you could be working one day and then not working for a month the next day. You know what I mean? So everybody's stressed about being laid off and shit, and like you can't really build a lifestyle based on that because it's like, yeah, you're making $30 an hour, but you're making $30 an hour and you don't know when that's going to end. So you can't really like financially like live like you're making $30 an hour. You have to live like. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The people in my family that do construction weren't for like the union though. I think my dad used to be, but then he became sort of just an independent carpenter.
That's the way to be because you have more control. That's what I'm saying is people get sick of that shit. Yeah. When you're independent, I feel like it's a little bit easier because at least you have some sort of semblance of control. But if you're in the union, it's like yeah, you're protected, but everything else is so up in the air. It's kind of irrelevant. Like there's safety standards across all job sites. I mean, you get safety standards, sure, but it's like the work is so up and down, inconsistent. You're so out of control in that situation that like you have to be nice to people because you don't want to get laid off, because they don't like you. They don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that level of stress. I met crazy people, but it was,
One time I was working with my dad when I was like 15 or 16 at just like a customer's house. Like, it's just a guy, and then he told me that he's like, oh, my daughter's like 15, and he's
nice,
like offering his daughter. It was very weird.
What did you say?
I don't know. I was like,
did she look like
I was
you?
like so anxious. I was just like, I'd probably just ignored it. Like,
that's the weirdest shit. Yeah, I don't understand that. One time I was dating a girl, and her stepdad, I helped him. He wanted me to help him with like yard work or whatever. One time he was like, hey, I'll pay you if like I need just like a hand, because they're kind of wealthier. And then he was like, you need gloves? Like, we were working together, and I was like, no. And then he's like, looks at me, he's like, women like to be touched with a soft hand. Just a word to the wise. And that always freaked me out, because I was around the same age. That was like really
well,
creepy.
that's weird, because that's straight up from Of Mice and Men, where that character...
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah, because the boxer who's like basically is a villain in it. He keeps...
I haven't read that since I was a kid.
He has one glove that he keeps on at all times and has Vaseline in it. So it's keep this one hand soft for the lady. So it's just like he just took a character.
Oh, sorry, bitch! I put my my rough hand in your pussy. I need to go back.
Sorry.
I'm dyslexic. I put my rough hand.
So he took something from like a villain and made it like...
What is that? Well, yeah, he's just one of those. Yeah, I think the way I interpreted that guy was like he just like one of those. Now that I'm older, he's just one of those guys that just says like dumb shit all the time, and you just have to be like, oh, okay. Like he'll just like quote things and not really understand why he's quoting it. That makes sense if it's from Of Mice and Men. Like he was connecting to somebody.
He just watched it and did not understand that that's a bad guy in the movie.
Yeah, it just... What does that mean, though? Touching women with the salt. It just freaked me out that he said it to me, because he looked at me and he was trying to be like sincere, and I was like, "What do you mean by that? You want me to like, finger your fucking?"
Even in Of Mice and Men, the book, the guy responds to that like that's an awful thing to tell around. Like he says something like that. So it's like
what are you fucking weird, dude? Why are you talking to me like this? Oh, but this guy. Okay, a little bit more context.
Well, another thing I wanted to say about... I wish that, like, when I was, like, 15 or 16, could I have had enough social skills at that point to, like, parlay something the dad said into just, I have a girlfriend the next week? Like,
that would rock.
That'd be sick, dude. Not to be...
If you're just some hot girl in your class, you're like, sorry, your dad and I kind of worked something out, so I guess we're together now.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that shit, dude. When because my dad would do that like at a certain age where he tried to be like my wingman. You know,
my
like,
mom would do that too.
And it's like, yeah, do you not understand how pussy getting works? Like, have you never been around? Like, when has this ever worked? Like your dad being like, oh, hey, my son is your age. Especially when you're a teenager and you're like just awkward already. You know,
it's like Jesus.
Not me, but probably you. But like I was pretty cool. But you know what I mean? Like you're just already like uncomfortable.
I was pretty much how I am now.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Same, I think. I mean, I guess it's like people would say PTSD changed me, but I was pretty much like... Well, no, because I would like... The thing is, like, if it was a girl that, like, if I was in a one-on-one situation, I would definitely take my opportunity with the girl, but, like, with parents, I would just be, like, weird. It just seemed like a barrier. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to deal with the parent... Like, that's the thing I don't want to have. It's like... It's just weird. It's like, I don't...
It's like, this is... You're not... Because... They're immediately involved in your social circle if they're like
that's what's weird about it to me. That was my whole thing, was like I just want to be involved in this. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about construction being a shitty job for me. I mean, you did construction. You did job with what they would consider roughnecks. Am I right? I guess technically we're kind of in that group, but we just don't act that way. That's what I was saying. I was talking to you about it, and you were saying that like, because I was like, I don't really think of myself as that type of person, but like we've done all those same jobs. It's just that for whatever reason we just don't act that way. I don't know, like that like stereotypical.
I mean,
like the job that you work with people that are like when you work the moving job, which is pretty much the same as construction in terms of personalities.
Yeah. Well, I
What separates you from those guys?
Maybe I have no idea.
Nothing. That's what I was going to say. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
I have a podcast.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm a comedian. No, but I mean, it's just we don't, for whatever reason, just didn't act that way. I told you we were talking about it, but just some of the crazier people I met in construction. There are some awesome people. The thing is, like, construction, the cool thing about it is you meet some really, really cool people that, like, some people came out of prison or jail and they turned their life around, and those people, like, I still keep in contact with. Those people are really cool to me. Interesting. If they're just trying to do their job, you meet people like paisas that came here from another country. Well,
what's a paisa? Is that like a astrological sign?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the only Mexican astrological sign is paisa. Everybody's paisa.
I mean, a Taurus, a Pisces, who knows?
It comes from the term paisano, which is actually Italian, but it's like a countryman. So like they basically adopt the habits and the practices of the country that they're from. So it's applied to Mexicans. Like they would call like a paisa somebody who is more Mexican than they are American. So they're usually, well, not usually, they're always born in that country, and they probably spent most of their life there. It's like fresh off of the boat, same thing. It's like this, but those people are always like super interesting, and you hear about where they came from. My favorite paisa story was a friend of mine. I was talking to him because he was saying he came from a real cartel area. I don't know if I've told you this story, but he was like, we were talking about it at lunch, and I was like, what was that like going to high school with those people? And he's like, oh, one day a guy in my class pulled a gun on me, and I was like, oh, what did you do? And he's like, and he just looks at me, he's like, oh, I shot him. I got my gun and I shot him.
The same time or like the next
He said
day?
the next day. He was like, oh, I got my gun and I just shot him in the leg. And I was just like, hey man, don't threaten me. And he's like, well, but that was the only time I had anything weird happen. He's like, I watched Harry Potter and stuff a lot. He's just like a nerd, like a quiet, nerdy guy. Pretty funny.
Just ready to shoot people though.
If you have to. That's what he said was like.
That's
man. That seems like so much fun, dude. I would love to do that. Where like there was a situation where you could just non-lethal shoot somebody in the leg and they just disrespect you.
Well, and then
and like, all right, man,
did he have any kind of discipline, or was it just like, oh, he pulled his gun? Yeah, then you had to shoot him.
He said he didn't really. At first, he didn't explain it. He said that's kind of how he said it. Was like, I brought my gun the next day and I shot him in the leg, and I was like, oh, cool, man. But then I was like, what do you mean? And then he said that it was like the guy had a gun and he was like threatening him, and he was like, if you ever do this and that, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna he was like just getting in his face with the gun, like trying to be a tough guy. And he was like, you have to stand up for yourself. So I just shot him. Hilarious that he just how perfectly he handled that situation and get in the context. You know what I mean? Because it's like, where the fucking cops are gonna help you? What are you gonna do if you let that guy bully you? Then he would just keep. You know what I mean? It would just keep going to a much more extreme degree because you're in a place that's essentially lawless, so he just handled his business. I thought that was hilarious. That guy's a really cool dude. I still talk to him.
I feel like now it would be harder to do that because you don't know if someone's connected to like some organization where they'll.
It was during that time.
Okay.
So it was like that. That's what I'm saying. It was the whole thing. It was like he grew up in like a real cartel controlled town.
So he had to. Well, was he connected to a cartel himself, or is he?
No, they just handled it. That's what he said.
Okay.
They just handled it. All
right.
What am I supposed to do? Next question is like, are you in a cartel? Do you
know
anybody in a cartel?
Sir, are you sure that was the best way to handle your emotions at the time? Maybe you could have talked it out peacefully.
Violence is never the answer.
Well, so what if you shoot that guy and then he kills your family and it's on you because you disrespected him?
Have you ever even thought about that? Do you even think that deep about it?
Maybe you were being selfish.
Guns aren't even that cool, okay? Just so you know, there's much easier ways to deal with your violence.
A real man would have stabbed him.
That would be, to be fair, if a man pulled a gun on you and then you just fucking coldly stabbed him,
yeah, dude,
you'd be terrifying. You'd be the most terrifying guy for sure.
He pulls out a scythe, just cuts his head off.
In my experience, dealing with calls where stabbings were involved and knife fights were involved, it's really hard to kill somebody with a stabbing. It really is.
Well, it seems like it's an Olympic sport.
Is that the point of it? I never really understood that one. So they're actually trying to kill them, but they never do. They're all so good, it's like impossible.
Yeah, I guess you have to really be committed too, because you're probably not going to be able to do it in one stab. So you got to be crazy enough to keep stabbing someone.
Well, but okay. So every stabbing I've seen, I don't think I've seen any fatal ones, but I've seen a lot of stabbings. Not fatal. I'm saying not like maybe fatal eventually, but not fatal like they stab them and they die. That's not how it works at all.
Yeah.
It's like hard to do that. So like most times they either stab and they miss because the person's body is a lot. Like it's hard to like put a knife through a person's body. And people seem to forget that a lot. Like prison people, when they do that shit, a lot of times it goes wrong because the shank will break or whatever. But then like on the streets, like I saw a guy with a butcher knife fight one time. He slashed really hard and the guy stuck his hand out. The victim stuck his hand out and he just cut his fingers. But he didn't even cut him all the way. He cut him like off, but like the tendons were holding on to the fingers. And then the guy comes at him again and he just slashes him in the belly real good. But he gave him a big, pretty substantial cut on his belly.
Give him a little how do you do?
A little how do you do? A little kiss on the tummy as we call it. No, but I mean he didn't kill him. It was like the guy told me. We were like, all right, so, we were going to take him to the hospital and stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not going. And he said he was going to Mexico and he ran off. He took his fingers in his hand and he ran off to Mexico. That's what he said.
Oh, probably cheaper.
That's what he said. He was like, I can take my fingers. And he's like, I'm not no. And he literally ran.
Yeah.
But then it's like,
well, he's got to if he wants to keep his, like, if he wants him to get it sewn back on. Did you guys give him ice or something to, like, or were they kind of
I think we tried to, but he was like, we were trying to, like, let me just give you, and he bolted.
Do you think he was afraid of, like, police consequence or getting deported?
I think he was probably afraid of getting deported because he was the victim.
But then if he's going to Mexico, though, anyways, to get it fixed, then why would you even care about getting deported?
I don't know. I didn't have time to ask. That's what I was thinking. Maybe he was legal because it seems like why would you go to Mexico?
Maybe he had like a warrant out.
But then if you sneak back in, maybe I don't know because I think he was probably thinking like if you get deported, I think like your name goes into a system. I'm guessing so maybe that's why I didn't really understand it fully because he kind of did just bolt with his fingers. I just remember just like seeing him have his fingers and he's like I'm out of here.
And then the belly thing, he was just like out of that.
He was putting his hand on his belly. It was a substantial cut, but it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't enough to kill him. It was bleeding, but it's like, if we were. I mean, I worked in San Diego, so it's like we're always close. We were in Logan too, so it's like pretty close to Mexico. Yeah. He could have made. It's like going over there is not that long, especially if you know somebody or something. So I didn't think he definitely lived, but I saw another guy almost get stabbed in the dick, dude. He was off by like an inch.
Well, that's good for him.
It's his friend.
I mean, he still got stabbed, but really, that's like a victory.
That's what he kept saying to me. He's like, all things being considered, not that bad of a day. Could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like
how many beheadings have you got a call and you get there and
their whole head's gone?
Yeah.
911 calls and they're like, yeah, there's a guy, he's got no head. I don't really know. Do you want me to do CPR? I'm not really sure how to help.
I guess car accidents would do that.
Oh, but I thought you were saying beheading.
Yeah, like a beheading that would be cool with like a knife. It's like I cut his head off.
Take some commitment.
But now I have second thoughts. Can you sew back on?
Hi, I think 911. Okay, this is going to be a funny story.
I overreacted.
Bit off a little bit more than I could chew. No, you know what? Actually, now that we're talking about cutting off limbs, I did see a guy cut off his own hand. That was interesting. He was on a lot of drugs and he was trying to like.
And like one slice, or was it like
no, dude? It was like
that's disgusting. Don't
he sawed it. It wasn't all the way off. Again, same thing. It was like tendons, but we showed up and there was blood everywhere. His wife called because he'd lock himself in his room. He was like he had some issues. I mean, obviously, but it was like almost all the way gone, dude. And you know what I remember about that shit? I wasn't paying attention. It was late at night. My cell phone was in my Class B, which is the button-up one. My cell phone was in my Class B. And it was right here in the breast side, and I bent over, and my cell phone fucking fell in the blood. Yeah,
fell right into his severed hand.
I had to lick it. I had to lick it clean. That's a joke. No, but it did really fall in the blood. Yeah, it was disgusting. Not disgusting, but it's part of the job. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like shooting somebody is a much easier way to kill them if you're going to do it. I don't know too many, unless you're like a Navy SEAL and you really know how to take people down.
But there's like YouTube videos for that now. You could just be a Navy SEAL, just go on YouTube and.
Oh, it's not like it used to be. Now, now you can pretty much just learn it all through YouTube. Yeah, you watch some Jocko stuff and you kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
All right, do some push-ups.
Learn how to jump a fence.
That was maybe the saddest thing I've ever seen, you trying to jump that fence. It was just so, like, I didn't want to be mean. I honestly, normally I'm so mean to you, and I was like, in this moment, I'm like, I'll just let him slide. Oof! 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 That was you trying to climb that fence today. Oof! We were over in this area trying to climb.
I'm 270 pounds.
I thought you were 260 pounds. That's a cool little spider. I'm so stupid with that thing.
Well, I gained some weight.
Since we've been talking, you put on 10 pounds?
Well, stress adds weight.
Oh, I'm stressing you out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just keep stressing you out.
Makes my body heavier.
300. Oh, no, but we were talking about... We got sidetracked, but we did want to talk about this, that a guy in construction, a pretty powerful guy, I would say. Well, yeah, now he's definitely powerful, but like back then he still had some like sway in the union. Now he's like a pretty important person. I don't want to say specific.
Do you still know this guy?
Not know him. I mean, this kind of, to me, was like, I'm not hanging out with this guy. He's into wife swapping, and he like propositioned a lot of people at work. It was pretty funny. I don't know. There's like a group of us, and then he's like, he kind of brought it up like jokingly. Like at first he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a swinger house," and everybody's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's a swinger. Me and my wife went there," and he goes, "We're swingers," and everybody's kind of like, "Oh, okay," like, because nobody there was like either married, or if they were married, they weren't thinking about wife swapping. And then he just like, I don't know, it just creeped me out so much because he brought it up another time with me. Like he was like, "Oh, how old's your wife?" And I was like, "Oh, she's 17. I got like her parents' permission." And he's like, "Nice." He's like, "I love them young." And then I was like, "Oh, I'm just kidding, man." And he goes, "Oh yeah, no, me too." And he totally just backed out of it.
You should have went lower. You should have went 16. Really test.
15, 14. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I was just joking. I was just joking. She's a child. Are you into that? No, it was.
I bought her. You know they do that fair and square.
He told me the other thing he told me that was really funny was like, I don't know if he was trying to brag or trying to be funny, but he was like, "Yeah, I went to TJ to get a prostitute." He's like, "I did the math and someone told me, and I guess she only cost $12." And I was like, "Is that like cool?" Or I couldn't really figure out what he was trying to say by telling me that. Oh my god!
It's like either
this is horrible. This looks so bad. This is a great hill to climb up to, and you ruined it.
Could have had 2 energy drinks or a prostitute.
Pretty much, yeah. In this economy, well, I bet that $12 prostitute now because of inflation is like $16.
Yeah,
$16 prostitute.
Oh yeah, everything is more expensive now.
Would you ever buy a prostitute in Mexico? Because I know the people that do that stuff, but I could not wrap my head around wife swapping.
I mean, just to support. You know what I mean?
Support small businesses.
Yeah, if you go to a country, you want to like buy. You don't want to be a bad tourist that doesn't buy anything.
You're buying local.
Yeah, I'm buying local.
Oh my god, I could never, dude. That's what I was saying about wife swapping to you. Is like,
it's weird that it's someone who was sort of your boss to do that.
Sort of, yeah. He was in charge of me, and then he was also like, "Why would you share that with people?" Like, I think that he was probably propositioning and seeing if somebody was into it.
Well, maybe it was an impulsive. Like, he just looked around and go, "There's a lot of people here. Maybe I'll get a yes." You know what I mean? Like,
hey, dating's a numbers game, and I would assume wife swapping follows the same principles. You have to try. There we go. Back to normal.
That's really not that much. I kind of like comic in this area.
I don't at all. I like this hill. Well, I mean, it just like with your coworkers. You know what I mean? Like that's like so fucking weird. Also, my thing, like I was saying to you, is like diseases, or not even just germs. Just the idea that like, ooh, like it's not like a man-woman thing. It's like I'm not into the hookup culture. I'm not into any of that stuff because of just like germs. I don't want to mix. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Is that like a weird fear?
What if it was like all the way your boss and he's like, "You swap with me, I'll promote you." And so you're getting, you know.
Well then, yeah, that's just a good business decision. That's grind. That's grind, and that's hustle culture. That's what those lion memes say. It's like if your boss asks you to fuck his wife and then he fucks your wife, you say yes every time. That's how I'm a millionaire.
What if you had a really ugly wife and then when you go to the party, like
I prank him?
Yeah, like
hey, good luck, buddy.
Like what do people?
He didn't ask for pictures, which was nice. He didn't. I mean, he was. I don't know. That's the thing. Is like, so yeah. Well, what if I said yes?
Shut it down pretty soon. Yeah.
Well, sure, but I'm saying, well, no. But that's what I'm getting at. So he's just shooting for anybody, right? Because he doesn't know what anybody's wife looks like. He doesn't know if they're his type.
And then he finds out that you're actually just a gay guy.
That's what I call my wife. She said you can thrash that ass all you want. He's totally cool with it, man.
He'll be your wife. It doesn't matter.
The thing is, if it was a
just
gay
completely latex, just yeah. Like it doesn't matter to me. It's just
He said he had nothing going on Tuesday night. He said he's into it. It's fine. It'll just be fun for him.
Our whole relationship, I've never seen his face. So to me, he's a woman the whole time. So I don't know.
Well, we were talking about if I wasn't married. That was a funny thing you said to me when I told you the story, like originally a couple years ago. It'd be so funny to be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm not even married actually. I'm sorry. I guess you have to have a wife to do this.
Yeah.
My bad.
Can we just swap in with me? I'll just swap in.
I
real
thought
quick.
you were just getting tired. I thought we were just gonna here to help give you a hand.
Yeah, just give you
Union
a day.
brothership.
Take a day off, buddy.
Dude, it's just so funny, like just that guy's persona and then just the added thing. Because I think that my friend was telling me, I don't know if this is true necessarily, but like he was saying that a lot of times it's failing marriages and the guy's just like, look, I'm gonna leave. Like because if they're financially dependent, if the woman's financially dependent on the man, then that's something that he'll pull, or vice versa. If the man is dependent on the woman, she'll be like, look, I want to swap. But it's like a failing marriage, essentially, is what my friend was saying. Because it's like, really, I mean, like, if you're dating somebody, whatever, but like, if you're married, there's no way that's not going to go sideways. There's no way.
Maybe there might be a rare kind of personality that does it. I don't know.
Pretty rare. That's like serial killer rare, I think, where you wouldn't get jealous. You wouldn't get a little bit germophobic, in my case. You wouldn't get a little bit frustrated with the change of schedules. You know, there's a whole bunch of things.
You have to take care of the other people's kids.
Yeah, that's family swap. Family swap is you have sex with the other guy's wife, and then you are a good role model for his children as well.
Yeah,
it's like a mama bird type thing where you kick him out of the nest, and then you start feeding the little baby birds. That's family swap is less common. I would have done family swap for sure. I would have been like, hey, your dad's a fucking weirdo. You know, he tried to get everybody to fuck his wife at work. It's a weird thing to do. Don't be like that. What does this say? Love?
It says low. That's a W.
Low?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Oh, it's maybe somebody's name. Low. Or Lowe's the store. Nice advertising.
I think it's advertising.
If you're coming out all the way here and then you see
thrifty.
Lowe's, you're definitely like, okay, I'm going to shop there. That's the only store I can think of now. I've been trapped in the wilderness for,
I think that if you're going to break the GoPro anyways, you should have like thrown it off of this, because that'd be cool footage.
Obviously, I didn't mean to break the GoPro, you fucking idiot.
Well,
it's such a stupid thing to say.
It seems like, I don't know. I'm just a regular guy. I don't know.
There we go. There it is. There's the regular guy. Once
Because see, like, how good this footage would be if you just chucked it and then we got that'd be sick.
Well, I want to do that if I was...
I guess get a drone. It would be cool to get drone shots.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for saying that. This is a rattlesnake. Oh, this is a cool one. It's a Pacific Diamond. Southern Pacific Rattler.
It's Pacific Coast.
I'm just so excited. Pacific Coast. He's a Pacific Coast Rattler. Look at this baby. If you were just listening, get in right now, guys. You are going to see a rattlesnake up close and personal.
I've been closer.
You've never been closer than that to a rattlesnake, you fucking liar.
I've been way closer.
A regular guy wouldn't do this. This is an alpha male move. Sigma male. I call myself a Sigma male. Oh, how cool is this thing, dude? I just want to play fucking metal music, you know? And this is actually my non-invasive GoPro, so he really doesn't get threatened. He's giving me a little bit of an S here, but he's like, all right,
He's smelling you. He's smelling you.
But see, he's kind of giving me the S there. That's kind of a close to a strike, I would say. Right there.
No, otherwise he would have struck.
I'm saying that's close to. Okay, now he's backing away. See, they really don't like they really don't like striking. I feel like. I mean, granted, I've never.
He looks like he's eaten.
He's a big fat guy. Was that not awesome? The viewers at home, tell me you're not pumped up. That rattlesnake went on and it bit some guy and it killed him. That very snake, and I got him. That is right here. That is official footage. We've been looking for snakes over here. I think if we kept going to these caves over here, we'd find some rattlesnakes.
When I grew up, all my dogs got bit by rattlesnakes. I never got bit by them. My dogs got bit. They would bite the rattlesnakes right in the middle and thrash their heads and get bit in the sides of the face.
So they would win the fight, but the rattlesnake would win the battle, but the
win
the war.
The snake would get torn apart either way. So I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is he win the battle, but
Yeah,
he lost the war. The war is his life.
Yeah,
because he got torn apart.
But how is he winning the battle? Where's the winning?
The battle
for the
is he got your dog in the nose, and the dog's fine, right?
Yeah. There's only one dog that died from it, but she had already been bitten. So she was like 12 and she got bitten. She died. Even though like every summer they would get bit by rattlesnakes. I don't know.
Is there that many up there?
Yeah,
in the country.
Yeah, and just looking back on it, it's weird that my parents never trained the dogs not to. They would just be like, yeah, they just.
Well, you can't train them. Rose, my dog, there's no fucking way she would go after a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
In a second, she wouldn't. They don't understand.
Hmm.
I mean, what would happen? They would just go looking for them, or what? They're just around your property.
They're just around the property in the summer.
Which ones? Some speckled?
There are speckled, but they're like more hidden than I never just saw them around the house. I did actually recently see one around the house, but mostly those Pacific Coast rattlers. And then
those are cool ones.
And then rarely a speckled. One time I think I found a Mojave green because it just had a green tint on it.
Oh, that's so cool.
But just those three. We never saw Western Diamondbacks in that area.
I don't think they're out there. There's the other one is the red Diamondback.
Yeah, those are the bigger ones. We never saw those.
Dude, we got to do it. These next couple weeks we got to do a snake hunting adventure. How much fun would that be, dude?
There's some cool snakes out there: striped racers, king snakes, gopher snakes. There's some rare snakes that you only see at night, like the night snake and lyre snake as well. Yeah,
they're venomous, aren't they? Lyre snakes.
They are. Lyre snakes and night snakes are both mildly venomous. It's like the only snakes in the world that would be under that classification, where their venom is more closer to like a bee sting or something.
Okay, because I never understood what the ratio was.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna have to go to the hospital, but it'll hurt.
Because I was always under the impression they were venomous, but it just wasn't as strong. But a rattlesnake, I don't even think that, like, unless you get bit by a rattlesnake in...
You can get infected, though. They don't.
It's not good. It'll fuck you up.
Yeah, you have to go to the hospital.
It wouldn't...
Maybe. You don't... unless you're
Not ridiculous. Maybe. You're going to the hospital for sure.
There's some people I know growing up that, like, did it. They just, like, threw up and, like, had a bad time, but eventually...
They look like
even my dogs.
Like the girl in The Exorcist. There's like vomiting and stuff and laying in bed for weeks.
Because you're gonna get like an.
You know, somebody got bit with a rattlesnake. It didn't go. Or got bit by a rattlesnake. It didn't go to the hospital.
I remember hearing about it when I was a kid. Like someone.
Tall tales.
Yeah, maybe it was tall tales. I don't know.
Because I would think that.
But my dog survived it.
Can we look that up really fast?
No, my dog survived it. So
well, let's just look up rattlesnake venom. I just want to see how strong it is. I'm gonna look.
There's different types. So Pacific Coast rattlers have the hemotoxins, right? So it attacks your blood. So it's like a blood destroying venom. So
I'm saying 1 to 2 hours. Any rattlesnake bite, you're in serious trouble. Rattlesnake venom kill you. Rattlesnakes are venomous. No. If you're bitten by one, it can be dangerous, but it's very rarely fatal.
Yeah.
Severe medical problems. Can a rattlesnake kill you instantly? No. Can a human survive? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always thought. It was like, it could be fatal, but it has to be a long time period.
You would have to get like an infection and stuff because it's destroying your blood and like doing.
It would over time it would destroy. Like if you got bit real good by a rattlesnake and you didn't do anything about it, there's a good chance you could die from that. But in Southern California and stuff like that, like if you get bit, you're just gonna have a really bad day. You're gonna go to the hospital in time.
So then Mojave greens though supposedly have a higher rate of killing people because they have more of the other kind of venom, the venom that elapids have, which is the like I forget what it's called. It's not neurotoxins.
Neurotoxin.
Or maybe. Well, I gotta look up snake.
Now look that up because I'm actually pretty curious to see.
Because it's so like cobras that have this kind of venom. Like
I think it may be neurotoxin. I think that sounds right. I'm not just repeating that because you said it, but I think that sounds right. Because I've never seen anybody like I've caught plenty of rattlesnakes, and I've had them strike at me. I'm sure you've had that happen where they strike at you, but I've never had one actually bite me. I've had them get close, but never actually bite me. I've been bit by pretty much every other type of snake that's like non-venomous because they seem to like the gopher snakes and shit. They bite all the time.
So they have the other stuff like hemotoxins too and elapids, but the neurotoxic is what it.
What is that? Called. What is that ratio there? Like, what does that do to you exactly? Tell the people at home.
Well, let me look up what neurotoxin does. Neurotoxic venom, because impacts the animal's nervous system, causing muscle paralysis, damage to the brain, and loss of consciousness. Right. So, yeah. And then I don't know if they ever found, like, because I remember hearing, this is a myth, that when
if you bite
rattlesnakes are younger, they
have more. I heard that too, but that's not true.
Yeah, but I think what it is when they're younger, they have a higher concentration of neurotoxins because they need to like just kill stuff fast. So that's why they're more dangerous. I'm not even sure if that's true, but that makes way more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because I was always told that the younger rattlesnakes can't control their venom. That was
but they go by instinct. Yeah,
but it's like
they're not learning to control their. Yeah, it's just I think they have a.
It doesn't make sense if you think about like a young rattlesnake being like, "Hey, I'm a young guy. Yeah. I got to pace myself here. I got a whole bunch of envenomating people. What am I doing?"
Yeah, they grow up. Yeah, they learn discipline. This rattlesnake.
I'm 3 years old.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh wow.
That's like
classless.
Mars.
And then you show the same snake. I have so many rattlesnake videos, and so do you. And then you show the same one.
Yeah, but this
time
like
it's
a
highlighted.
Filter.
It's in a nightmare scenario.
Yeah,
but that's the thing is these snakes are not our enemies. They're beautiful. First off, rattlesnakes are some of the coolest looking snakes out there.
Well, vipers in general have the like, especially if you're like in the rainforest, they have like the bright, all these weird, brightly colored.
Vipers are very cool. Yeah, but their fangs are awesome. They're so fucking metal, dude.
Yeah, I think these are the most recent in the evolutionary chain is pit vipers. So they're the most advanced snakes around. Is pit vipers.
Oh yeah, this is the BMW M3 S class.
They even have fucking rattles. You know what I heard is that they are rattling less now because rattles get them killed. So people are killing the ones that rattle. So they're actually becoming more dangerous because people like killing rattlesnakes.
They're just talking. Now they're like, hey, I wouldn't fuck with me. Hey, I don't want to start rattling. I don't want to start rattling. I don't want to start rattling.
My neighbors up there killed all of them. Like, they really hated rattlesnakes.
What types did you have? You said the Mojave, or you've seen Mojave?
Just one of those. I think that's rare.
But then mostly,
I'm not
even
sure.
The Pacifics.
Pacific is the most common one, and a speckled rattlesnake.
And they killed them? How did you have them?
Well, what do you mean? Oh, one time I didn't want my parents to kill them, but we had dogs outside, so we caught them all, and my plan was just to have them outside in a pen during the summer, and then release them in the winter.
Dude. That's like
and the neighbors came down and killed them all. It upset me to this day because
why would they do that?
I don't know.
That explains so much of your psyche and why you can never be regular, Blaze, is because somebody killed your rattlesnake, your pet rattlesnakes.
Isn't it? Yeah, and I was upset because my parents didn't do anything about it. I don't even know if they confronted them. And they left evidence. You can see like sticks and stuff, like they were like prodding in there. It was just like, why would you do that?
Oh, that's so awful.
Yeah, I had like 6 or 7 rattlesnakes.
How'd you catch them?
Bucket, like it's just the same as how you catch it. Yeah, you just direct the snake into the bucket, and then when they're in it, you turn the bucket vertical.
Yeah.
And then I had a lot of rodents anyway because my dad had a garden, so he would get gophers, gophers in the gopher trap, and then I'd just throw their bodies in there, and they would eat them.
And they're like, "Hey, I was trapped, but nothing bad happened." He's gonna throw me in kind of a nice new cage. Oh my god!
Yeah.
6 rattlesnakes in there. That's so cool.
Gophers are big though. I think rattlesnakes is about the only snake out there with a body type big enough to like eat gophers and not all be all the way fully grown. Because gophers are big.
I rattlesnakes get huge. That's what I'm saying. Is the red ones, which I've seen around here, they definitely could eat like a gopher or more. They're big. They're big snakes. They can be like, I wouldn't say like 6-7 feet, and they're fat too. Thick.
Yeah, thicker than a Snicker.
Yep. Thicker than a Snicker.
Do we have any other topics?
No, it's been just about an hour. If you guys have listened this far, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, honestly. We're just kind of talking here over the footage. Please like, subscribe.
Next
comment,
time we'll have some snake
stuff.
jokes.
Well, you know what? Next time, guys, if you want, we will do a whole snakes thing. We'll go out and actually catch snakes in a safe way, and we'll
experience
get you different videos.
The venom.
We will bite. We'll get bit by them. We'll bite them, and then we'll rank our experiences out of 10. So, anyways, thank you guys so much. Please check out our movies. Really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.